The moment you start finding your voice, you will lose friends, you will lose family. Some people will say to you that, why are you doing this? But then that is their opinion, and as they are entitled to it. They are entitled to their opinion. As individuals, we must actively own our voice and clear the path for it to emerge. And when you are finding your voice, you are not creating something new. You are only finding out a little bit more about yourself. Who is this video for? Are you not able to speak up freely? Are you not able to express yourself? You worry that people will judge you, or you worry that speaking up will get someone or somebody upset or will possibly drive them away. Sadly, if you're not able to speak up, confidently own your voice, share your thoughts, that might be one of the greatest mistakes. Because if you think, oh, I'm too old to speak up my mind, I'm too, 10 years from now, you're still going to not speak up and it's still going to be the same. You're not going to achieve that, your purpose. You're not going to be that best version of yourself, because when you wonder what people will say or how people will react to you speaking up or you talking about yourself, when you worry about those things, then you limit yourself. You're putting a barrier on you being the best version of yourself. If this is you, you don't feel confident speaking up, you don't feel confident expressing yourself, you don't feel bold enough, or you already wait for people to validate whatever comes out from your mind or your actions or what your passion is, you wait for people to validate. I want you to stick around, and then I'll be talking more about this. And this topic is something I'm very passionate about. But if you're new, you don't know who I am Bola Adeyeye Omishade, and you're welcome to the Bola Adeyeye Omishade show. It is a community, yes, a very beautiful community where we support ourselves to be the best version, to be our best version, to be our best self. And that is one thing that drives this episode. The topic for today is one thing that drives this episode, that facilitated this episode, is owning up for ourselves, speaking out when we need to, so that others can be inspired. You never can tell. Your speaking up today can inspire somebody, can be the reason why somebody who is being pressured, somebody who has lived their life trying to be validated, is speaking up. So I want you to join us today, and well, you're already here anyway, and I hope you enjoyed. Now, we air one episode every week. If you want to stick around, you want to click on the notification button as well as subscribe, so that you get reminders when episodes are aired. And if you, of course, enjoy this episode, do not forget to give it a like. Yeah. That means a lot. And thanks for being here today. Right, owning our voice. It is a very big thing for me. For so many people that are already part of this community, I have said it over and over again. I used to wait for people to validate my thoughts. I had so much low self-esteem, yes, and I kept some things to myself. I wasn't my best self. And sadly, in the world we are today, a lot of people are not being their best self because they are living their lives based on how they want people to feel, or based on people's thoughts about them, based on people's opinion on how they should live their life. Unfortunately, that's not supposed to be so. You should live your life the way you want to live your life. There's some things that you feel very comfortable doing, but because you have one or two people around you you keep them to yourself. There was a story of somebody who wanted to set up a business. Something she's very passionate about. She really liked doing it. It was a drive for her. But because her friend was running that sort of business, she limited herself because she didn't want to displease her friend, and then she held on to not doing the business. Well, what do you think? If it were you, what would you do? Is this you? Because your friend is running that business, something you're passionate about, or because somebody in your family is running that business, something you're passionate about, something you don't get tired of doing, something that can change the world, something that it will contribute to your effort, or your effort in doing something new, and then you're not going ahead to do it because somebody else is doing it. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, you might regret it. And that's why this episode is to say to you that you need to own up your voice. Your voice. You need to stop being pressured by what people think, or by what others will feel, or how others will react. There are some things that you want to do and you feel, okay, it might not really sound right. And you see, when I first started, I started, sharing my thoughts like this. And, I think I started sometime in 2013, and I was actually doing some videos. And after I did the video, I waited for people to tell me, how did I perform? Was I good? Was I bad? I worried about what people thought. Or some people say, oh, why is she putting herself out there? You should have a private life. You shouldn't be out there. You shouldn't be on YouTube. When you're talking, you sometimes talk about some things about your family you're not supposed to talk about. But that was limiting me, And I remember that at one point when I started with, for some of you might know, I started with Instagram videos, and then after work, I did some videos and all that. That was the first step to owning my voice. First step in doing something that I really liked to do. And sometimes when you're in the process of trying to find your voice, there are some questions that you need to ask yourself. What angers me? What is it I don't like to see? I don't like people being cheated. I don't like people not bringing in their potentials, making best use of their gifts. It gets me angry. It drives me nuts. I know you have the skills and you're keeping them because you're worried that nobody will buy it. You're worried that nobody will like it. But have you started it? Accept yourself. And you need to begin to see life that you contribute a quota to the world. If you're missing out of the world, something is missing. Something is missing. You need to appreciate, you need to start seeing, stop judging yourself. I think that's the word. Stop judging yourself. Start seeing things and appreciate every little effort that you put into things. Now, starting the Instagram videos was the first step in getting me out of a depressed state, of thinking of eliminating the impact of what people felt about me, or people's opinion of me. And someday I stood up for myself. I stood up for myself and I said, well, you don't judge me. This is me. It's either you like it or you don't like it. I am unique in my own way. And I am saying that to you today. Are you feeling pressured? You don't have the freedom to do that thing which you want to do because one or two people maybe are doing it, or you're waiting for one or two people to validate you. What are those stories that have been told about you? It is time for you to challenge that lie that has been told about you. It is time for you to actually challenge that opinion about you. Oh, you want peace to reign. I know. I know we are from this, this world where we want peace. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying peace shouldn't reign. But you see, you might regret not speaking up. You might regret not standing up for yourself, because 10 years down the line, you would look back and say that, oh, had I said that. It is not too late to change that thing. It's not too late to turn the table around. It is not. So I don't know if you're listening to me and you can relate. You're that person where you want at work, because you feel you are in this world, where in this part of the world, and you feel intimidated at work. You're not able to share your opinion. You're not able to express to your managers how you feel, because you feel, oh, what's their action going to be? They might blame you. No, don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself, because you're limiting your potential. The moment you speak up, other people who are facing the same thing will speak up. Speak up for yourself. Stand up for yourself. Don't limit yourself. What is that thing that you love to do? What is that thing that you have passion to do? Go for it. Look at what resources do I have around to start, while I started this episodes, and somebody said to me, she opened a business, and she said, thank you for these videos that was one drive that I had. I watched one of your videos, and I had the motivation to go ahead and start up. I felt really fulfilled, because that is what motivates me. That is my own passion. Talking to you today is my passion. Talking to you today to be the best version of yourself. Don't limit yourself. Never say never. Never say never. Back in 2009, when I just came to the School of Computing, and I had a problem with a couple of my colleagues. We had a coursework, and then they lied, and apparently, so I went to report to this lecturer, and then I told him about the situation, and eventually he was able to help resolve the issue. Now, while I was in his office, I just thought, oh wow, this man in this very big office, I really wish I could be in this kind of situation. I thought that way. And after I finished the degree, I had the opportunity to do a PhD, but some people around me said, no, you don't want to be a lecturer. You don't want to be teaching. Teaching does not mean anything. But I really liked it. I liked it. And anyway, that's what I'm doing now. Of course, so many of you know that I'm a lecturer. Yay! And I love it, actually. But that day, or during that time, I had the interest. It was something that I would like to do. It was something I would like to do. And but because some people felt, no, you shouldn't do this kind of thing, it's not something that is, you don't get paid very well, you don't, the sort of stereotyping that comes with all those sort of things. But apparently he retired, that same lecturer, and I got his job. That is 9 years later. And when I started the job, one point I was walking through that office, and I looked there and I reflected. I said, oh, maybe if I'd started early, but it's never too late. 9 years after, I did what I wanted. And then it takes me back to, what are those things you used to say when you were younger? I wanted to be a computer scientist. I wanted to have a school. I wanted to teach. I had a friend long time ago, and he would always tell you that, oh, Bola would say she wants to lecture, she wants to have a school, she wants to, those sort of things. And then at some point when he realized that I became a lecturer, I said, oh, you actually are doing what you really wanted to do. So what are those things you really wanted to do when you were younger? Those things that you never get tired of doing. Stand up. Pick it up. Look at the resources that you have and start doing them. Don't feel pressure because the society is imposing certain things on you. You want to find yourself in an environment where you would not get tired. You want to do things that you would not get tired of doing. Start owning your voice. Pick up that business idea. You know, it might sound really crazy. Oh, people would feel I'm crazy. Oh, this job is not good. You shouldn't find people around this sort of, or I'm a caliber of person that I can't do this kind of job. But do you like to do it? Then go for it. Do you really care? Do you really care? I don't know. How do you think? Do you want to keep sharing leave comments? You know, I want to hear your thoughts on finding your voice, because a lot of people have opinions, you know, or different opinion about you finding your voice. Some might say that you're rude. Yes. Some will say, oh, she's rude. Some will say, oh, you don't have wisdom, or you don't, or you're not a peacemaker. But you need to know the boundaries between limiting you from doing something, achieving greater goal, contributing your own quota to change, and being a peacemaker and being rude. Having said all this, of course, you need to actually, if you want people, of course, you want to find your voice, you want people to listen to you, then you also need to listen to people. That's one very good thing I need to make clear. You need to listen. You need to, because that opportunity you get, with listening, you get the opportunity to gain feedback. You get the opportunity to learn from other people. Yeah, so it's okay. Listen, but don't let the environment, don't let the people around you, don't let what the society imposes on us limit you from being your best version. If you're not your best version, what is your gain? If you're not doing what you love to do, what is your gain? You know, what is that thing that if you have time, the whole time in the world and the whole money in the world, what is that thing that you will not get tired of doing? Sit down. Write a list of things that, oh, if they call you, oh, Bola, what would you be doing now? Write a list of all those things. In that process, you begin to identify that thing which is your passion, and then speak out. You know, that person who is your customer will find you. Don't forget that you need to consistently, you know, keep in at it. Just keep going. Just keep going. And yes, one very, very key thing is the moment you start finding your voice, you will lose friends, you will lose family. Some people will say to you that, why are you doing this? But then, that is their opinion, and as they are entitled to it. They are entitled to their opinion. So you would lose friends. You would see people who would think you're actually talking about them. Just the way I am doing this, some people will feel, oh, she's talking about me. But then that's okay. That is okay. I know that somebody who needs to hear this now, who is in that shell, who is limited, or who is in a cage of limitation, of waiting for people to validate themselves, needs to hear this, that come out of that cage and loosen up. Find your voice. Find your voice. You know, so you're bound to face those things. But you see, you know that you have a goal. You are contributing your own quota to that change. You're contributing your own quota to making yourself happy. Yes, it is okay. Love yourself. You know, place yourself high. And be confident about that tiny little bit of effort that you have put into achieving that thing. And like I always say, even if you fail, of course, you're afraid of people to say, oh, she's going to fail. Or you're afraid people will say, you're afraid that you would fail, and people will say, oh, she has failed. But you see, failure, it's an opportunity to learn. In the last week, I went through a lot last few weeks, and and just the way I am saying to you, sit down, take pause, reflect. What do I need to learn from this whole thing? What do I need to learn from this rejection? What do I need to learn from this failure? And pick it up again. Pick up the pieces and start learning. Oh, I am motivating you. Yes, I need to motivate you because you need that push, because you are in that shell. You are in that shell of not being the best version of yourself. And I believe you can do it because the potential is in you. You only need to find a little bit more about yourself. You don't need to create anything new. That voice is right inside of you. All you need to do is own up to it and use it well and use it wisely. Let people know you for who you are. Let people know you for that thing that you're good at doing. Stand up, pick up the pieces today. Pick it up and start doing it. I want you to share with me, what are those things that limits you? How have you been able to overcome the barrier of waiting for others to validate you? How have you been able to overcome the problem of, oh, I fear that I will fail? You shouldn't fear that you would fail. You should prepare for failure and use it as an opportunity to learn something new. So, activate finding your voice by clearing a path for it to emerge. Your voice needs to be heard. It doesn't mean by maybe always speaking. Okay, it could be in your working place. It could be with your business. It could be with that thing you want to do. It could be in your family. It could be in your relationships. Speak up. Yeah, speak up. So, is this you today? You feel pressured to keep quiet all the time. You feel pressured to say, oh, let peace reign. You feel pressured to say, oh, you're not using wisdom, or you're not confidently able to take that step because you say nobody would accept it. Nobody will like it. Nobody will like me. This is the right time for you to do it. Oh, are you thinking it's too late? It is never too late to own up to your voice, to find your voice. It is never too late, because few years from now, if you don't start doing it today, you might regret it. I don't want you to look back and regret not taking that one step that you should start taking today. If you have found this very useful, I want you to give it a thumbs up. Okay. I want you to leave me comments. I want to read from you. I want to hear your thoughts. I want to hear your opinion, what you think about finding your voice. And most importantly, you need to apply wisdom in all cases, and listen. Because if you want your voice to be heard, you need to listen as well. Thank you so much for joining me. As usual, if you have any questions, the email is on the screen. And then follow our social media pages. Follow the pages. If you have not clicked on the like buttons, or you've not left comments for me before, I want you to do that today. It means so much. And it just encourages me to do more. It encourages me to do more. So thank you. Thank you so much for doing that. And this is Bola Adeyeye Omishade. And I'll see you again same time next week. Bye-bye.